As many of you educated people well know, we in America and in the world are suffering a wide variety of environmental catastrophes without much being said or done about it. Today it came to my attention that there's a crisis in Middle America in our farm communities because of the depletion of what is called the Oglala aquifer. The Oglala aquifer is a huge underwater reservoir which was formed millions of years ago by the uplifting of a tectonic plate to cover an extensive area of fresh water. There's not much to be happy about these days in a place called Happy, Texas. The street is and the buildings are shuttered except for the Happy National Bank. The wells in Happy, Texas, like other wells in other states that are drilled in the Oglala aquifer, are drilled into a geological formation that is an underground lake of pristine water formed when 2 to 6 million years ago in the Pliocene age, the tectonic shift pushed the Rocky Mountains skywards and the water was trapped below a new surface crust that would become the American Great Plains. Since the beginning of the period when wells were extensively used, it is said that they have drained enough water from the Oglala aquifer to fill Lake Erie, which is one of the Great Lakes, billions upon billions of gallons, or as they prefer to measure, billions of acre feet, each one equivalent to a football field flooded a foot deep. Now, what should get smart people alarmed is that water from the Oglala aquifer irrigates 20% of America's arable farmland, where we grow grain and corn. This is America's heartland of industrial agriculture, and it dominates the international markets. A collapse of those markets caused by the loss of the water in the Oglala aquifer is also a collapse of, a major portion of our agricultural economy in the United States because, as I said, 20% of America's arable land in the Midwest is irrigated with water from the Oglala aquifer, which is presently drying up. Texas, in one way, is kind of a watershed of what's going on. Texas has laws which state that you have a right to capture water. So in other words, it's winner take all. As much as you could take, go ahead and use it regardless of the consequences, to a place like Happy, Texas, which is no longer happy because they don't have water anymore. The folks who live in Happy, Texas are not ignorant hicks. Many of them have attended the universities and obtained agricultural degrees, and so they well know the consequences of loss of water in the aquifer. And they're discussing such things as the cost-benefit ratio of, and how to get a good return. They say it's a business like any other. To earn a living, stay on the land, you have to maintain the margin between cost and product value. Most people have heard of our financial wizard friend, T. Boone Pickens. Now, Mr. Pickens concluded some time back that the water in the Oglala aquifer and the land above it was more valuable than the oil he had made his fortune on. So he formed a company called Mesa Water and began buying panhandle land and water rights in the Oglala aquifer. Mr. T. Boone Pickens is now the largest individual water owner in America. Mr. T. Boone Pickens has made a bet that the price of water will skyrocket as the amount of water available diminishes, and he's probably absolutely correct. There are people who will buy water when they need it, and the people who have water will sell it. As some of you may remember, the heart of the Dust Bowl of the referenced in the famous book Grapes of Wrath was in the Texas-Oklahoma panhandle. let's just hope that people find a way to switch crops, to use less water, to use conservation, so that this possible crisis here turns into a better situation. Some folks around the town of Happy that we previously mentioned are turning their land back to the CRP, and that in turn will remove it from farmland, and it is said that some of these lands will be returned to plains conditions, which is wild grasslands, which is what it originally was. But who knows? Maybe we can use this as an example of how to conserve water, to preserve farming, to save the economy, to clean up the environment, to waste less, to be better people. We'll see. This could be an opportunity, or it could be a disaster. I would like to think that people are smart enough to make this into an opportunity.